All right, guys, welcome. And we are going to review goal setting to the now. Goal setting is really important. It's a skill that takes practice. It takes doing over and over again. And let's review how to set goals. So first, what you want to do is take some time and think of someday goals. Someday. This is really challenging for those that don't think really big. Because if you have trouble thinking really big, you're already gonna set limitations on someday goals. And someday is when you're 70, when you're 90, when you're 55, when you're retired from real estate. None of it really matters. Yet think of someday goals. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Like for example, I was doing this exercise with my wife, and one of the questions I asked was, when we retire, what do we want our budget to be? What's our income gonna look like? Because once we know what that looks like, then we can start working everything backwards today to what that needs to look like and what date is that. So hopefully by me sharing that little exercise, that opens up your mind to, oh, okay, that's what someday goals are. What does that look like? And what does that look like? And where do you live? And what do you own? And how many homes do you own? Where are they? What toys do you own? What types of toys? Just really thinking big is the first step to setting 2021 goals. Thinking really big. Then you go from someday to 5-year goals. Then we flow to 1-year goals. In other words, 2021. It's so weird already starting to write it, but I don't think I've ever been more grateful to write a year than 2021. And hopefully that landed for some of you. All right. Then we create 1-month goals, which would be January. Then we write 1-week goals, and that would be January 1st through January 7th. And then we write 1-day goals. And then we write now. And this is how a model for setting goals. Now, in our path going forward from this graph, understand that there are 2 models to follow. There is a 411, and then there is a GPS, also known as a 1-3-5. And a GPS stands for 1 goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies inside each priority. All right. So once we start with this part, once we take some time over the next 2 weeks to think of this part, then we can move into the 411. And this is what a 411 looks like. So we have annual goals. We then have January goals. And then we have January 1 through 7, 8 through whatever the dates go.
8 through 15.
Got it, thank you. 16 through
23 and 23 to 31. 24 to 31.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the reason that there's a line down the middle is because we always want to start our goals on the right side with personal. And over here, we have work. Or better yet, I think a better word would be professional. So going back to what we did over here, we have our 1-year goals, both personal and then professional. So I'm gonna write this out, mostly because we're in Facebook world. And I want you guys to think about this. The purpose of business is profit. The purpose of profit is to fund the perfect life. The perfect life is to truly live, Let me erase that because you can't really see it. The perfect life is to truly live before you die. So when you're creating a 411, start on the personal side, because business is just there to fund your perfect life. not live to work. So what's super important now is that you have your someday goals, you have 5-year goals, and then you have 2021. Personal, and then activities in your business. Now, in this middle section here, you're going to list the activities that would make this 1/12 closer, 1/12, because it's 12 months out of the year, one-twelfth closer to the perfect year. Now, Blanca said, I don't believe in the perfect life. Perfect seems like a very difficult goal to achieve, probably a life we've dreamed for us. Well, think of it as to truly live before you die. That's all. The perfect life is to truly live before you die. That's all. It's not perfect as in cookie cutter house and the pet dog, and it's not. It's what do you envision 5 years to look like? And now what we're going to do is peel that back to, well, what can we do this week to make this 1 week of a month? And then how can we make this month 1/12 of a year? And we're just moving. We're not shooting for perfection. We're shooting for progress.
I agree with that, but when you use the word perfect, you put a lot of burden on you. I've been a perfectionist of my life, and actually it's taken me a lot of therapy in order to try to live a happy, the most I can do of my life. So that's
fulfilled life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So perfect, it always seems to me that there is no perfect, even if we want it.
I can get behind that. And
I'm trying to learn to use terms that are not so stressful.
And that's fair. And I respect that, and I can get behind it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Left onto the Jubber Street.
All right. So once we know what our annual goals are, okay, so we're going back here. Once we know what's inside the red, all right, we know what our year is. And we know what goes on the right-hand side of our 411, the personal side of the 411. Once we've determined that, we then move into the GPS. And the GPS is very simple. It's what is our one goal? What are our 3 priorities? So a way to look at a priority is this should be powerful enough. The priority should be powerful enough to achieve the big goal, this thing, all by itself. So let's break this down. Let's imagine that our one goal is to close 122 units. Is that a big goal? to close 10 units a month? Cool.
That's huge.
Yeah. So what is one priority? Well, close 73 listings. What could be priority 2? Close 49 buyers. And priority 3, customer care. All right, where is that sound coming from? Eddie, please mute yourself.
Now, this is Evan walking back and
Yeah,
forth.
I know. It's all good. Okay, so we have the GPS. One goal, 122 units closed, and 3 priorities that'll get us there. 73 listings, 49 buyers, and white glove service of customer care. Then we have 5 strategies under each one of the priorities to help us get there. So let's talk about listings. All right, so we have $36 touch plus 19 connect to command database. And if you don't know what this means, read the red book and go onto KW Connect and type in 19 connect and you'll learn all about it. Type in 36 touch and you'll learn all about it. Strategy number 2 could be sit on 86 listing appointments with 90% conversion. Do you see how these are 2 specific goals? 100% of the database has a 36 touch and 19 connect, and we will sit on 86 listing appointments with a 90% conversion ratio. Number 3, add 480 new contacts to command. Can anyone do quick math and take 480 and divide it by 12?
$40.
So how many contacts can we be held accountable per month in 2021? 40. So you could see how we're starting to fill out the 411 as well. All right.
So which one should you do first?
You do the personal side of the 411 first. The order of events. All right, order of events. This is number 1. This is number 1. Once you know what your goals are, Tony, Then you flow into how you're going to do it. And then the GPS will then fill out the 411. But you start with your personal side first. So it goes personal side, personal goals will flow into the 411,
Mhm.
which will then flow into your business plan, which will then flow into your GPS, which will then flow into your and then every week you review the 411 every week. And that is a powerful goal setting formula. So what is the purpose of a 411? And mind you, this is what it looks like. Just like that. Personal, business. And so the purpose of a 411 is it helps you discover and gain clarity on your priorities for your year, your month, and your week. It helps you gain clarity on your priorities for your year, your month, and your week. It also creates a better counterbalance between your personal and professional life. It provides a counterbalance between your personal and professional life. It also raises a level of personal accountability. It raises the level of personal accountability. And it allows you to achieve extraordinary results in less time with less stress. And so now imagine you spend every Sunday planning out your week, and you now send your 411 to me. And now I can see you throughout the week, and I can just simply ask you, how are you doing on this? How are you doing on that? Because you have specific, measurable, attainable, repeatable, and timely goals, also known as SMART goals. Specific, measurable, attainable, repeatable, and timely. And that's a simple goal setting formula. And that's what I feel like expressing.